The death of George Floyd last year has shown a spotlight on what it means to be Black, especially to be dark-skinned in America. Special correspondent Fred DeSam Lazaro has our report from Minnesota, home to a growing population of African and other immigrants. It's part of our continuing series, Race Matters, and Fred's series, Agents for Change.
Amira Adawe remembers the first time she came to this mall, popular in Minneapolis' Somali immigrant community.
One of the women, I was buying something from her. She said, you know, if you were a little bit lighter, you would have been more beautiful.
This is casually somebody you'd never known before?
Casually, yeah.
Being told she'd be more beautiful if she were a bit lighter is nothing new for Amira Adawe. Prejudice against dark skin or colorism is pervasive even where people are dark-skinned, like Somalia, where she grew up.
My mother's friends sometimes will say, you know, like that I am darker compared to my sister. But my mother always used to say she's very beautiful, and so being very protective.
In almost every corner of the planet, there's a huge social dividend that comes from being lighter-skinned. Sociologists trace it back centuries to European colonization, slavery, and class or caste. Studies show people with lighter complexions earn more, are less likely to be arrested, and if convicted, serve shorter sentences than people with darker skin. Whiteness is the global beauty standard. It's reinforced in marketing by the multi-billion-dollar business of skin lightening products, hundreds of obscure brands, and some very well-known ones as well.
Fair and Lovely
Fair and Lovely is one of the most recognizable brands across South Asia and parts of Africa. It's made by Unilever, better known in America for Dove, Caress, and dozens of other household products. Sociologist Margaret Hunter has studied colorism globally.
In some countries, the names are very overt. White in Beautiful, White Dream.
Introducing new Olay Whitening Body Wash.
In other countries, including the United States, we use a little bit more coded language, but they are selling the same set of values.
Skin creams have long been marketed to Black and brown Americans, but when Adawe arrived here at 19, she discovered that as an immigrant, she was part of a specific targeted audience.
It's not only limited to the Somalis, but also the Asian communities, the Hmong community, and the Latinx communities.
Armed with a master's degree in public health, she started a group called BeautyWell, creating an awareness campaign with the Minnesota Department of Health that warned about skin lightening creams that were tested and found to contain mercury, and a petition drive with the Sierra Club that got 25,000 signatures demanding that Amazon stop selling lotions with the banned toxin.
I was able to deliver these petitions and letter to Amazon, and the following day we learned that they have removed the products off of their website.
But Amazon removed just 15 mercury-laced products, she says. There remain dozens of brands with little, if any, ingredient information sold online and in stores frequented by immigrants. We asked University of St. Thomas journalism student Sophia Mohammed, who is Somali-American, to browse the shelves for us.
The lady who sold me this told me how this product will make me look lighter and makes you look beautiful.
Minneapolis dermatologist Margaret Pierre-Louis says some creams don't work as advertised, others have varying degrees of toxicity, and the most dangerous and very popular, she adds, are steroid-based creams.
They have permanent disfiguration to the face. There is now very white patches on the cheeks, and there's broken blood vessels and a thinning of the skin that gives these women horrible photosensitivity, meaning they can't tolerate the sun at all.
Due to both the stigma and isolation of many consumers, it's a problem that gets little public attention.
Only people who had lived experience know.
Most white people are just simply not aware of it.
Yeah.
Adawe has tried to bring a broader awareness, lobbying, among others, Minnesota Congresswoman Betty McCollum.
These cosmetics are coming in basically unregulated. We had 2.9 million cosmetic products were imported in 2016 number. 1% were examined, and 15% of that 1% had contamination or it had illegal ingredients.
McCollum has pushed the Federal Food and Drug Administration to step up its enforcement and also arranged federal grants of $1 million to help programs like Adawe's Beauty Well.
We need to get the inspections up. We need to get these banned.
For her part, Adawe uses podcasts and works with groups of young women to help them understand and fight anti-blackness and the use of skin lighteners in their communities.
Colorism is so much now embedded in cultures, but lately what's happening is more awareness.
Awareness that she says has grown markedly, starting in her own Minnesota backyard after the death of George Floyd.
One of the things we saw that was different, I think, from previous protest moments, we saw a lot of corporations jumping on the bandwagon and wanting to express solidarity.
In the cosmetics sector, Johnson & Johnson dropped a line called Neutrogena Fine Fairness. J&J is a funder of the PBS NewsHour.
Our new level of whitening.
Procter & Gamble pledged to dismantle racism through its advertising, but Olay whitening products are still sold in Asian markets. And Unilever said it would change the name of Fair & Lovely to
Glow and Lovely. Fair and Lovely, Akon Glow and Lovely.
Amira Adawe is not impressed.
They are still promoting colorism. They still want people to use these products. It does not change the issue.
The cosmetics companies mentioned here declined to comment. Sociologist Hunter says they, like big corporations in general, are increasingly being held to account by a new generation of consumers and dark-skinned influencers.
Solway is going to be read to us by its author, Academy Award-winning actress.
And we see more and more celebrities taking positions, and Lupita Nyong'o wrote a children's book recently to specifically address issues of colorism. As a dark-skinned woman herself, she talked about feeling very isolated.
That rings very true for journalism student Sophia Muhammad.
Although I would never think about even touching any skin lighting products, the effects of colorism and the desire for lighter skin really did impact my self-esteem. It's very toxic, especially as a young person and as a young woman of color. But over time, I've found ways to become more secure in my own skin.
There are definitely signs of hopefulness, but it's not a quick fix. Colorism is connected to the much larger system of racism, and it won't go away until racism is also gone.
One measure of progress Amira Adawe will be looking for is a decline in the still robust sales of skin lightening creams. For the PBS NewsHour, I'm Fred DeSam-Lazaro in Minneapolis.
That report is in partnership with the Undertold Stories Project at the University of St. Thomas in Minnesota.